What's going on, guys? Thanks for the support. As always, I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to stay to the end because I touch on a lot of topics, including whether or not I think Marc Bergevin and Dom Ducharme should be fired at the end of this season, depending on how it plays out. Make sure to get in on the discussion down in the comments, and I've got another buzzed up and baked episode out, lots of Habs talk, so if you want to have a beer, have a toke over the weekend, and listen to some Habs talk, check it out. Cheers, guys. What do you know? The Habs, they follow up a win with a loss. I don't know what it is with this team and being unable to string wins together, but it is infuriating, and it's making this season incredibly stressful for us. And I got to be honest here right off the bat. Dominique Ducharme's, and I hate to say it because I was excited as can be to have him coaching the Habs. If you saw my reaction videos to when he was hired, absolutely thrilled. Former Mooseheads coach, I thought he was going to take this position and just run with it. But so far, a lot of the time here, I'm questioning his decisions with the lineups. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there, having Eric Stahl out to end that period, or to end the game, sorry, with the extra attacker. I'm not understanding Eric Stahl in general. I understand the Habs are handcuffed right now due to their cap and call-up situation that, we're kind of stuck with the roster we have, and Stahl is there. But, I mean, he is playing way too much, and that trade has been an absolute wild swing and a miss. It's hurting more than it's helping, and now we have cap problems because of it. And he's got him out there 6-on-5, and the play just dies on his stick. He was absolutely atrocious all night, so I'm not sure why he's got that assignment, other than maybe to win the faceoff, but he was just as bad as everyone else in the faceoff dot tonight for the Montreal Canadiens. I don't see why we have Kotkaniemi sitting on the bench, one of the few centers on this team who's been able to generate scoring chances as a playmaker as of late, and he's sitting on the bench when we need a big goal. A playmaker is just as important as the goal scorer, and you need one to have the other, and we got likely our best playmaker as of late sitting on the bench when we need a big goal. It's just brutal, and what you would expect to happen with those assignments happened. It's just incredibly frustrating. The Calgary Flames defeat the Montreal Canadiens 4-2. That puts Montreal's record to 20-15-9 on the season. We play them again tomorrow night, and this loss by the Habs has just made those games even more interesting. And the Flames are now 6 points back of us, and we've still got a game in hand, but they're closing the gap. And we've been told that Caden Primo could get the start tomorrow. That's a lot of pressure to put on the kid, but we've almost essentially promised him a start at this point. We may just have to run with it. It'll be exciting to see what he can do out there, and hopefully he delivers for us. At the same time, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see them backtrack and chuck Jake Allen in there. But, you don't want to look too desperate either. We're going to have to see what happens and how that plays out. You got to give it to the Calgary Flames. They played with a heavy pace from start to finish in this game, played a full 60 minutes. The Habs could take some note from that. And just quick puck touches, and a big difference is that they have puck movers on their back end, so once they get into the zone, they're able to cycle it around and make some plays. I mean, Giordano, Hannafin, Rasmus Anderson, they have offensive capabilities, and they showed it off tonight, and the Calgary Flames had the Habs hemmed in for a lot of this game. Most of Montreal's chances were off the rush, and we relied on Tyler Toffoli getting an unassisted goal, and Yoel Armia kind of scoring a fluky one off the draw to keep us in this game. It's just, man, it just keeps piling on for us Habs fans. It's just been a really, up and down season, especially in this last half here. So like I said, the Flames start this game off with a great pace, seem to want this game more than the Habs from the get-go, and it's Dylan Dubé who picks up the goal for the Calgary Flames, assisted by Mangiapane and Derek Ryan. And Dubé, I mean, this kid is impressive. Reminds me a lot of Kyle Palmieri in the way he plays. Smaller guy, but bulky. He can throw the checks, plays with some grit, can forecheck, but he has that offensive upside as well, specifically goal scoring, and he showed it off there, getting a big first goal for the Calgary Flames. Tyler Toffoli ties it up with a great shot on Jacob Markstrom, beating him, getting the unassisted goal there. And thank God for Tyler Toffoli. I mean, where would we be without him? And the contract that he's on, is an absolute steal. Luckily, we have him not only for this, but the next 4 years as well. So if he can provide the goal scoring for us that he has this season, above and beyond what I ever would have thought he could be for us, the way he toe dragged and shot that puck was absolutely beautiful. I think even myself, I haven't clued in yet to just how lucky we are to have a goal scorer of this caliber on our team. At least that's one massive positive we can take out of this one, is that Tyler Toffoli was able to do that tonight for us. And then shortly after, it's Armia off the draw, and great shot from Armia. Pointed out my Buzzed Up and Baked episode that he's been really good since returning, and just wanted to see him get up on the board a bit more, and he did there. Habs are 2-1 at that point, but then at the end of the period, Shea Weber takes a penalty, and I mean, to me, this was a clear dive, and we had, people piling on Shea Weber right after that, but, granted, not a great game from him tonight either, on for every single goal on the night, him and Sherratt. And that pair, we'll get into that again at the end of this here. But yeah, Mangiapane on the power play, assisted by Hanifin and Monahan. And that was the only power play the Flames got, and they capitalized on it, unlike the Habs, who also got one, but were unable to get really anything going whatsoever, which has become typical for this team. We go into the second, and it's all Flames for the most part. They get outchance us the whole period and play really strong, and the Habs just kind of, on their heels for most of that second. We go into the third. Monahan picks up what eventually is the game-winning goal, assisted by Gaudreau and Nordstrom. Shea Weber, missed assignment there, or kind of gets drawn in by Gaudreau behind the net and loses the man in front, and then it's Monahan who snipes it past Jake Allen. And Jake Allen, again, doesn't get goal support. It's going to be frustrating putting on the performances that he has been putting on as of late, and just, not getting the support from his teammates. It's quite frustrating at this point, but at the same time, and I'll say it a ton, the forwards are handcuffed because this team cannot transition out of the zone, and even if they do, they struggle to enter, and even when they do enter, they can't cycle. And it all starts with the immobile defenseman. I understand that Weber and Sherratt can shut down McDavid, better than anyone in the NHL, essentially. But why don't we just pair them up when we play the Oilers and maybe switch it up depending on the opponents we have any given night? We need speed through the neutral zone. When we play the Calgary Flames, we're not going to get that if our number one pair or number two pair, or whatever it is Shea Weber and Ben Sherratt. And Erik Gustafsson played tonight 7 minutes. I mean, could we not have experimented there, chucking him up with Weber to maybe get some puck movement up the ice? It's just mind-boggling why this coaching staff is just, tunnel vision on this D pair. It seems obvious to me that these forwards are struggling with lack of support. We got forwards playing their own game and the defense playing their own game, and there's not chemistry between the two groups whatsoever on any given line. And it's really unfortunate lately, or harder on us lately, because Jeff Petrie has been struggling. Now, mind you, he made a few nice plays tonight, did his best out there, but with our only puck mover struggling in Jeff Petrie lately, what else are we going to get? That's just unbelievable. They pick up, the Flames end up picking up the empty netter. It's Lindholm from Monahan. Now, a bit of craziness before this game. We got a COVID scare. Josh Levo tests positive, ends up on the COVID protocol list. Hopefully it's just a false positive, and, he's okay. And if it's not a false positive, then hopefully he, recovers and heals up quick. All the best to Josh Levo. And, we weren't sure if we were going to see this game, and we ended up seeing it, which, was a treat. It was a good game overall, objectively, standing back. If I want to, leave the emotion out of it, back and forth. Essentially at the beginning, and the Habs did have some chances towards the end there. Nick Suzuki ringing one off the post. Josh Anderson absolutely doing everything in his power to will this team back into it. He's basically our Brendan Gallagher right now, and I love that he's taken that responsibility, and he's doing a great job in that role. And the Josh Anderson, Mark Giordano battles tonight were absolutely epic, fun to watch, great hockey, back and forth. They both got their licks in. And Giordano, I mean, what else can you say? Fantastic defenseman. The way he can skate and move the puck for a guy his age and defend, he has it all. Tons of respect for captain of the Calgary Flames, Mark Giordano. And some more drama this evening. I mentioned Erik Gustafsson played, and that was because randomly at the beginning of this game, Jonathan Drouin left warm-ups with some kind of non-COVID related illness and was going to miss the game. Now, first and foremost, shame on the fans that are cheering on this injury, just so that we can get Cole Caulfield in the lineup. I understand you're excited to see this young prospect play, but to be cheering on a player getting injured, even if it's a Jonathan Drouin who has been struggling offensively as of late, it's not right. Now, that being said, there could be a chance we see Cole Caulfield play, and that would be extremely exciting because this kid is exactly what we need right now. The Habs are struggling mightily to score goals. Now, granted, the defense need to be straightened out. We need to fix that. Maybe give Romanov some more minutes or something. Try something. But Cole Caulfield coming in would no doubt help, and it would be really intriguing to see what he could do in his NHL debut and beyond. You never know, he could be the saving grace for this team. I'm not trying to pile those expectations on him, but he's that talented of a player that he could, and he has the potential to. But if he doesn't, it is what it is. He's 20 years old? But yes, it would be extremely exciting to finally get him in the lineup. The thing that's been holding him back is, I'm wondering if the Habs don't want to reward this team if they haven't fixed their issues without Cole Caulfield yet, or if their main focus is just having him getting, acclimated to the environment in the pros, getting comfortable with his teammates, maybe a mix of all those things plus the cap issues. But at some point here soon, if we want to, increase our chances or likely increase our chances to make the playoffs, this kid needs to be playing, especially if Laval's playing games and he's not. This kid has to be playing hockey right now, whether it's in Laval or with us. And they only have a couple games left, so it seems like it's going to be with us. Tomorrow, if Jonathan Drouin is not going to be returning, would be a great time for that. Now, at the same time, if all that Jonathan Drouin has is some kind of illness, that might not be enough to get an emergency recall. And we may have to rely on the players that are already on our roster and go with 7 defensemen again. But, so don't get, too hyped up on it. I know Ducharme, that's probably one of the first questions he's going to be asked. Now, now that I'm thinking of it, as much as I'm harping on Ducharme, I'm actually impressed with how he's handling the media. That was one concern I had with him coming in as a rookie coach. He does a good job in front of the cameras and answering the questions. And, especially through this tough patch. And I'm still hopeful that he can, turn it around as the coach for this team. Now, if he doesn't, and this team somehow manages to miss the playoffs in an utter collapse here, I feel like that's the only way that Ducharme is let go. And if Ducharme's being let go, then Bergevin is also being let go. Now, mind you, if this team does make the playoffs, I think the two are here to stay regardless of the outcome. It's a kind of a crazy year with COVID. Bergevin has 1 year left on his deal. Him and Ducharme can be handcuffed together for that last season with the expectations of make the playoffs, go on a run, or we're going to move on. Which is a tough task because we would likely be going back into the Atlantic Division. So some serious work will need to be done in this offseason, depending on how the season ends, of course. But no doubt this defense group has to be improved, and we have to find a way to make it more mobile. Shea Weber's not going anywhere. Ben Sherratt and Joel Edmondson are essentially the same player. I was worried about that when we brought in Joel Edmondson. And I do like the play of Ben Sherratt, but I would probably prefer Joel Edmondson. And speaking of Sherratt, tough night for him as well. But regardless, whether it's Sherratt or Edmondson that gets moved around, we have to get a transitionally strong defenseman in our decor. And that includes for the rest of this season. So preferably for this next Calgary game, so we can hopefully have some success, we experiment a little and get some transitionally strong defensemen in our top 4. Finally, come on. Let me know what you thought about this game down in the comments. And of course, if you like these videos, hit the like and subscribe button. I also got a new Buzzed Up and Baked episode up. Episode 7, touch on a lot of different topics. You can check that out. Unbelievable, man.